Hello. Hi, everybody. Can you see me and hear me? Looks like you can. Awesome. Hey. Um, okay. Tuesday mornings are a little rushed for me. Okay. Welcome to the live laser coaching call. Hold on, let me just see who's here. I invited Camilla, Coach Camilla, to be here. Camilla, are you here? If you are, can you raise your hand? Because I don't see you on my screen. Oh, I see Sally's here.
Camilla's not here.
Oh, Camilla's not here?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Well then, I had a surprise and an announcement, but we'll save it for next week. Um, okay. Welcome everybody. If this is your first live laser coaching call, the best way to take advantage of this call is to you don't have to talk to me, you don't have to check in, but definitely everybody listen to what people are asking, because most people will ask your question. And one of the benefits of coming to these live calls is that if I start to notice a pattern, or if I start to see, um, a group of you having the same issue, I'll put you into a smaller group, and I'll give you a challenge to do for the next couple weeks or a month. Last month or a couple weeks ago, I think there was like 20 something people a push the food away challenge, where they're going to do push the food away every day for a month. And so I'll check in on that group now. I also actually last week we decided that it's going to be a rolling group. So if anybody is really struggling with emotional eating and wants to join the group, I see Cindy's here. She's got her hand up. I'll check in with her. She's the leader of the group. But if anybody is interested in joining that group, we've decided to make it a rolling group, so that you can join anytime. So we have that ongoing challenge. If you want to be a part of that, let me know when we're talking, or type it into the comments, and Cindy will tell you how to join that. Okay, cool. So as a reminder, just always start off with a short win. You don't have to go into like a whole big story about it, because I want to make sure that we get to everybody. So like, just give me like the high level, like, hey, this is what I was struggling with, and then this is what happened. I love to hear those wins. And then I'd rather spend more time on helping you solve your problem and talking to you about, trying to get you to the next level. But I do want to celebrate you, and I do want to always hear your win. I just want us to make room for everybody to talk if they so desire. Okay, Katie, you're the first person with my hand up. Oh, also another reminder, don't put your hand up as we're talking, just since these calls are getting pretty big. Don't put your hand down until we're done talking, because then you move on my screen. Okay, let's jump in. Katie. Hi.
Hello. I
How are
just
you?
wanted to share a win that, after what happened last time knocked me down for just about 5 weeks, I'm back and I'm pushing through and I'm rocking and rolling because I have really great buddies. And Helmy has really helped me turn food into, like, I'll think of it as, why, if my grandpa is still doing clearing, like paving the way for me, even after he's passed, why would I stop that with food? My grandpa's still helping me. He's just a different form. And why would I stop that now that he's gone? So it just really changed the way I thought about food. And so I wanted to share, because also, just if you're stuck for a few weeks, don't give up. And I'm really proud of myself for not giving up.
Oh, Katie, that's a huge win. That is so hard to do. You got some hearts and you got claps, and you can snap if you want, to show Katie some love for that. It is really, really hard to do. And I'm so glad you had Helmy coaching you through that. That's amazing.
I
Thank you,
did.
Helmy, if she's here. I don't know if she's here, but thank you, Helmy.
And that's all I had. I'm rocking and rolling now. Just wanted to get on and share.
Great. Thank you so much. That's
Thank you.
also great for accountability too. So, and it's motivating to everybody else too, because yes, sometimes we do fall backwards and sometimes it takes falling backwards or feeling like we're falling backwards for a couple of weeks in order to, regain our footing. And typically we will take a few strides forward during those times that we feel like we're falling backwards. So,
And I would just say that when you mentioned on after what happened last time, like if you think you're not going to be triggered by how this program is.
oh, where'd she go? Katie, we lost you. Oh no. Oh no, I want to hear what you're saying, Katie, but come back on and share the rest of it with us. Dorota, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi, hi Brittany. Hi everyone.
Hi.
I'd like to share a win. I managed to get to a zero for the first time when doing a ball of light with crusty bread, which is like a kryptonite for me, has been for a long, long time. And yeah, I did get to a zero, which was a completely new feeling. I got to experience what it feels like. And that
Yay,
was awesome.
amazing. Oh, well done. Congratulations.
Thank you. And yeah, I've got so many shifts that I won't waste your time speaking about them, but it's just
It's
it's
not a
really
waste. It's not a waste of time. I would love to hear your shifts. Please tell us.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I mentioned them the previous that one of the previous calls that, I'm off my medication for depression, which I've been taking for like 25 years or something.
Oh my
And
God, Dorota.
so it's yeah, it's I think it's just a way of healing so many things inside that yeah, you never know what you're gonna get, really, but the things you get, it's just awesome, unexpected and awesome.
Amazing.
Um, and also, I have a question about the ball of light exercise. Right from the beginning of Thrive, when I signed up, and even now when I sort of circled back to the ball of light, to cravings, I've had issues with my authority figure, who is the person I have good feelings for and also very, very negative feelings for. So
Yes.
I'm conflicted, and there's when that person is present, I can't do the ball of light, or I didn't used to be able to. I decided to do it with an earlier version of me, like my earlier self, younger self, and it works well. I managed to get my authority figure to, like, she is in the room, but I managed to get her to sit down and just be there, but not be menacing. But it is still a hurdle for me somehow. It's like I don't feel safe because all those feelings are associated with her, and she keeps coming up, and I still don't feel safe about it.
So how were you able to make progress with the bread?
But yeah, I did it with my younger self, like I said, and also I kind of realized while I was doing it that my feelings have been in that bread for such a long time that they forgot how to be in a person. So
Hmm.
I sort of had to drag them out, like pull them out of the bread. And I imagined that there is like a transforming fire in the ball of light. And when I put those feelings back there, it just goes poof and like little fireworks going off. So they have to sort of relearn how to be in a person. And it may sound strange, but this is, I mean, I did it with every pass of the ball. And I asked my little self to help me do that and pull the feelings out of the bread, her end as well.
Great.
And then little by little with every I did it with every pass. So with every pass there were little fireworks, and it's like a little celebration in the ball of light saying, oh, you're back, you're back. So it's like, I mean, yeah, I learned this technique of this, like pulling things out and transforming them from a body of mine, and I used it in echo tapping as well, and I somehow it came up this time as well. So
So Dorota,
yeah,
why don't you just keep doing it that way? If that way is working for you, why don't you just keep doing it that way?
yeah. But what do I do with the authority figure then? Do I just keep her there? And
Well, I, yeah, I would say if it's working for you to keep her there. See, the thing is, once you, sorry, I'm distracted. My dog is, are you okay? She's making a bunch of noise. Uh, the thing is, with your authority figure, there's some challenging emotions behind that. And so probably as you get deeper into anger work and, doing some deeper inner healing around that, it'll become easier to do this with her. But I love this, like you seem to have found a hack for how to work with her before you're fully healed with her. And so I would suggest to just keep doing that. And then as you get deeper into the program and going through the materials and working with your authority figure, the anger work that you do around your authority figure will help loosen that up. And so, but I give you guys full permission to play with these techniques and see what works for you. Like if there's a part of it that doesn't work, or if something would feel better, I definitely do that. Like take care of yourself. You guys are all very intuitive. You've done a lot of healing work. You've been through a lot of certifications, a lot of trainings. Add your own special sauce to this if it's going to help you make progress faster. So I'm totally a fan of that.
okay, well that's awesome. Thank you for saying that. I was a little concerned as well, so that it's not a major change, but still it's a change to your technique. So yeah,
You know
thanks
what?
for.
The only bad change is when it's not working. So if it works and you changed it, awesome. And thank you for sharing that with everybody. I've seen a few people write that into the chat that they loved your imagery. So
Oh, awesome.
yeah, thanks, Dorada.
Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. And congratulations on getting off your medication. That is so cool. Thank you for sharing that with us. Okay, Deb, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Good afternoon.
Deb.
The win is that I'm here and that I'm still plugging away. So
Great.
that's
a
my
great
win. I am I'm a good 8 weeks into this and and I know that I'm an angry person and that there's a lot to work with there. And I've started doing more anger work and but I really have not connected with a younger me. I've not connected with a specific person. I just feel like there's this wall in there. And I don't know, do I just keep going and keep pushing and keep trying or
When you say I haven't connected with an angry version of me, but then you started the call by saying I know I'm an angry
I
person.
know I'm an angry person. I haven't
Right.
connected with a younger me.
Okay. So what's when you say you haven't connected with the younger you, what are you trying to do?
Well, I
Because with anger work, it's not about going back and being a younger version. With anger, it's just getting it out in that moment.
just getting it out.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Because I've been in this push the food away group
Okay.
and I've done 19 days,
Great.
not
Congratulations.
consecutively. I still cannot push the food away. I can't get down to that level below like a 4 or a 5.
Oh, okay. So that's the real problem that we should be working on solving
Okay.
right now. Okay. So you did the push the food away for 19 days.
Mhm.
You do 3 rounds of push the food away. And on the last
Yeah.
round, as long as on the last round, you're still at a 4.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. And so probably somebody suggested that you do anger work, that you add
Mhm.
anger work into it, right? That's why you
Right.
brought up the anger work. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So what happens? Do you feel angry in those, like when you're doing the push the food away, are things coming up from the past that make you feel angry? Do you have or
No,
frustrated?
I just feel frustrated.
Okay. So frustrated is like the appropriate band-aid that we put on top of anger.
Joy.
So, so yeah, so whenever anybody is feeling frustrated, even sometimes overwhelmed or anxious can be a
Mhm.
sign that there's anger underneath that. And so frustration is the easiest one though, Deb. So you're already there. So what I want to encourage you to do is when you feel frustrated, that you give the tapping more oomph.
Okay.
What I mean by that? So when you're tapping, whatever you feel frustrated about, your only job in that moment is to get the frustration from your body outside, out of
Okay.
your body. Okay.
Mhm.
So so that can look a lot of different ways, right? You probably already watched the video of me talking about anger work, but it would be, yelling, hitting pillows. Some people do like silent screaming. Um, the best, some people will cup their hand over their mouth. If you want to still hear yourself but muffle your sound, you can spread your fingers a little bit so that you can hear the sound. Best is if you can scream at the top of your lungs and
Okay.
punch pillows with all your might. Sometimes
Okay.
that hurts. Sometimes you can hurt yourselves. And I've had people throw their back out. I've definitely sprained my neck doing this. So do this, take care of yourself. Do what feels appropriate for you in that moment.
Okay.
Sometimes I've had students get these little bats, the like foam bats.
Mhm.
Those are really helpful. So these are all, if anybody else, does anybody else have anger that they're trying to work with right now? Or yeah. Okay, cool. So this goes for everybody. Okay, great. So yeah, so those are some tips. And when you're feeling frustrated, um, or annoyed is another like incognito band-aid that we put on top of the emotion anger so that we seem more appropriate. So annoyed, frustrated, anxious, overwhelmed, all of these can be a sign that you are feeling angry. So when you're feeling that emotion, just really go all into that emotion. You might still feel just frustrated for a while, but
Mhm.
as you give it more energy and as you focus on getting this frustration out of your body, you'll likely get angrier, which is a good thing. Okay. Because what you're
Okay.
doing is you're going deeper. Same thing with feeling annoyed or feeling anxious. Um, you might start to feel that emotion more intensely before it gets better. But that's what we want, because right now you're just using frustration to keep a lid on your anger. As soon as we take that off, the anger starts to come up and it seems like it gets worse before it gets better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give that a go and thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Can't wait to hear about how it goes for you. Thanks for asking that question. Okay, Cindy, how's it going in your world?
Holy moly. Well, my win is that seriously, I was going to come on the call today and tell you I'm giving up.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yes. But before I got on the call, I did some of the neuro transformation tapping, and I did the frustration buster. And I realized that I must be on the verge of something. So, yeah,
What made you feel like that?
so that I was on the verge or that I wanted to give up.
Both. Well, I'm curious about both,
Okay.
but yeah.
Okay. So I guess, um, last week I worked on a lot of anger towards my mother, and I actually got to a place of incredible sadness. Like I was able to see my teenage self um crying at some of the things that she did. And then I had a few days where I was just completely like leveled with incredible sadness. But I
Hmm.
also wasn't eating very much. So, it's like there's always the upside of that. Um, and I managed to pull out of it, and I had like a really incredible yoga class on Saturday morning, which a lot of stuff always comes out when I'm doing yoga. like a lot of feelings come out. But it was just, it was a great class and I thought I was feeling better. And I, but on Sunday, I put on a pair of jeans that I was sure should be looser on me and they really weren't. And I got like very frustrated and like this feeling of just like all I want to do is lose weight and it's not happening and I start to panic. Um, but the thing that I realized, so that kind of sent me into a spiral. But what I realized this morning, and something I've never mentioned to you, is that I was bulimic for like a good 10 years, starting in college. And instinctually, when I was tapping this morning, that's what came up, that I'm about to push up against that. And I've never actually heard you talk about bulimia. And so I thought I should get your thoughts on that and how to approach that.
It doesn't come up that often in this group.
Okay.
I've had some coaches that specialize in working with it.
Okay.
So if I can't answer the questions, I know that you could put it in the group and one of the coaches. I can't
Okay.
remember who it is. It's either Camilla or Tina, but
Okay.
it might be Tina actually. I remember Tina specializing in this, but you can ask me and I can do my best to help
Okay.
with it. Yeah. When you say you're pushing up against it, what does that mean? How do you experience that?
Okay. Well, last week my buddy texted me and she said, have you ever followed the eating at a specific time um, that Brittany has suggested on other calls? And I immediately said, no, no, no. Like, not ready for that. Have to stop binging first. Like, whenever anyone suggests any kind of time restriction,
No,
food
you're not ready for
restriction,
that. Then
I
you're not
just
ready for that.
go into
You can't do
like
that.
a cannot do, like my body just goes like that.
Yeah.
And
Good call.
and I just shut it down. But when I'm faced with the fact that I feel like I'm doing better, but I'm not but like I'm doing better with my food, but then I'm not gaining, but I'm not losing weight, then it comes back to me like, well, you're just eating too much. And so then it starts me on I need to be on a diet or I need to go on a GLP.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I understand.
and so that's what made me think, oh, the bulim like that's like that was the bulimia dynamic. Like the wanting what you can't have, eating, it's such a weird, insidious little cycle.
Well, high level, the easiest way to stop that is to stop checking to see if you have results yet. That's
Okay.
the number one way to drive yourself crazy, especially in this program. And it's kind of like, I don't know, have you ever done like any law of attraction stuff and you're like really working on manifesting something and then you
Yep.
keep looking to see if you've manifested it?
Yep.
Right. So
Yep.
looking for weight loss while you're going through this intensive healing it's kind of like manifesting and looking to see
Right.
if it shows up next week. Right. This
Right.
is a longer term play and this
Right.
is a longer game. And you can get on GLPs, you can go on a crash diet, but you'll eventually find yourself right back here sitting in front of me doing the same exact work.
Right. And I know that, which is
Yeah.
also the front. Like it's great, but scary at the same time.
Totally, totally. It is.
Right.
It is. And you're also you're probably in a purge right now. Out of all the students that I've seen, you're the one that's like, have you heard me talk about the purge?
I don't recall. Maybe,
Um,
but
a purge is something that somebody goes through when like all their shit comes up all at once and it's really
okay.
overwhelming.
Yeah.
But usually it only happens with people who have the time, the space, and the financial resources to like take time out of their life and really focus on healing themselves. So it
Yes.
doesn't happen for everybody and it's not necessary in order to heal. But having gone through, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 purges in my life, it
Mhm.
they'll come and I experience it as a spiritual experience. But it is so fucking hard. It is so
Yeah.
fucking hard while you're going through it because just everything is coming up right now.
Right.
And you feel like shit and you feel like it's never going to end.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Check, check,
Yes.
check.
Yes. So I'm so glad that you keep checking in with me because I'm going to coach you through this, and I will also inspire you with my story and everybody that has been through a purge. Once you're done with it, you will be so fucking sick of me. You'll never want to, you'll want to take a break from coming to these calls and from doing any kind of tapping whatsoever. And at the same time, you'll feel the best that you've ever felt in your whole life. And that
Right.
will last for that. Like, you'll never go back. I experience it as, actually, now that we have some more language around it, it's almost like, have you seen these videos where people are talking about shifting timelines?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's like you're shifting, you're taking, 100 steps, you're taking 100 leaps into a totally different universe, a totally completely different timeline, which is what everybody's doing. We're all shifting timelines when we're tapping and when we're healing all of these traumas. When you go through a purge, it's like shifting 100 timelines instead of maybe five. So you just take a big leap forward, and I don't know what brings it on. That's why I said it's kind of like a spiritual experience. And
Yeah.
I started calling it the purge long before I ever took ayahuasca. And when I was doing ayahuasca the first time, or the first couple of times, I was like, holy shit, the purge, when you throw everything up. I experienced it as the same thing, and I realized there were a lot of correlations. So right now you're just throwing up all of the junk that's
Mm-hmm.
been coagulating in your system over your lifetime. Um,
Lifetimes.
Lifetimes, yes. And so it feels like it's never going to end, and I don't know when it's going to end for you, but at some point it does end.
Okay.
So just do your best, but the way, so do your best to take care of yourself right now. Treat yourself
Mm-hmm.
like you're having like brain surgery. Everybody should be treating themselves like this. We are going so deep, and you guys are healing such um deep generational trauma for yourself and for your lineage, that everybody should be treating themselves like they just had major surgery. Okay. So that is being kind to yourself, eating well, sleeping well, saying no, having really good boundaries around your time, not checking to see if you are losing weight, not forcing yourself to go to the gym if you don't want to. It's really hard to do all the things at once. So focus, you're doing your emotional work right now. The weight loss, the eating, the gym, all of that other stuff will come later on. You are reorganizing the way that your body uses and thinks about food and exercise. You're changing your weight set point at such a deep level that you'll never have to go back and do this work again. But stay in this as long as you need to.
Mm-hmm.
Try not to let your brain, because your brain also is like a little bit scared. You're deep enough into it, you're not going to sabotage yourself, but the saboteur in you is also looking for ways to kind of like distract you, because you're making a lot of progress in a very short period of time. And there's the part of you that doesn't know what to expect or what life will be on this new timeline, is scared, and it's trying to keep you on the timeline that you're on right now.
Right.
So yeah, so I would, yeah, definitely don't, like, just really find ways that you can be so kind to yourself. Ordering food, making sure you have healthy snacks at home, thinking about your meals ahead of time so that you're not just like grabbing anything. Like, really treat yourself. Think about it like you've gone through major surgery. How would you take care of yourself if you just had major surgery? You know,
Okay.
think about yourself like that and treat yourself like that right now.
Do you think I've resisted getting a coach mostly because, to be honest, like I'm worried that they're not going to be as good as you are.
Oh, well, that is not true at all. And Camilla and Tina, they've all worked under me for like 5 years. So
Okay.
they are so well versed in my material that,
Okay.
I mean, and especially for the price that we have it available right now, like
Okay.
I haven't
I'm
changed the
gonna,
price on that link yet, so I would say get that and use
okay. I'm
sessions.
gonna do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. That sounds like a good choice for you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Thank
you're
you. Thank you.
welcome.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you're welcome, Cindy. Thank you for checking in. And
Of
oh,
course.
how's the group going?
Um, it's great, you know, it's great. Not as many people signed up after last time as I thought would. I thought the group would double in size, but we've had a few more people.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, it's just an incredible, very supportive group of people. It's amazing. So, but I have tomorrow, I think tomorrow is the 30 day
Is
for the
the 30
first
days?
group. Yeah.
Okay.
So what do we do now?
That's a good question. Let me think on that.
Think about it.
Yeah, let's see. Okay. The group dynamic is such an inspiration. I love it. Amazing. Yeah, let me get through some of the other people and just see
Okay.
what's in the space, and then I'll circle back to that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay, you're welcome. Thanks, Cindy. Okay, Kim's iPad 2.
Yeah, that's me.
Hi.
Hi. So my win is I was finally able to do some anger work that you had told me to do, and I had a purge.
Oh,
Yeah, it was brutal. Helmy really helped me a lot, and my other buddies.
oh, good.
I'm still doing it. It was literally like I had a volcano coming up inside of me, like just bursting. But having said that, on the weekend, I went away with my daughter where normally I would just eat all my emotions. And my insides were so upset, I didn't want to eat anything. So I just ate healthy and left it at that. I went there with chocolate bars, chips, and candy, didn't touch any of it. And not because I made myself, but literally because I didn't want to. So
Amazing, Kim. I also heard you say something. I also heard you phrase it that I was so upset I didn't want to eat.
mhm,
And I want to offer you a different perspective, which is typically people who use food in the way that we all do here that we're talking about will be upset and use food. So if you're
yes,
upset and you're not wanting food, that's not you being upset, that's the work and that's the healing that you did for yourself that you just experienced working.
yeah,
So yeah, I just want to remind you of that
yeah.
that it's if you hadn't done all that tapping, you wouldn't be having that experience.
No, I
Okay.
definitely credit it to that. No,
Okay,
I
cool.
know
Cool.
that I'm
Okay, it's not a credit to me. I just want you
no
to
to the
realize,
program,
yeah, I
to
want you
the
to
work.
realize the work you're doing
Yes,
is working because
yeah.
that's sometimes, especially when you go through a purge or especially when you
Oh,
tap into something that's really horrible, it's really nice when you can see the results of it actually working because then you know that it's worth it,
yeah.
right? Because that's probably not the last time that will happen. It might happen
No,
a few more times.
I feel like there's still a lot of layers. And the weird thing is, I didn't know what I was purging. Like it just, I was crying, I was mad, I was upset, just literally felt like my body was wanting to explode, but I didn't know why. But I just tried to let it out. It's the cap hasn't been off in decades.
Mm.
And the first layer came off. I know there's more, but
Oh, great, Kim.
it
Well, I'm
was,
so glad you got kind of a reprieve from food and from using food.
yeah,
And yeah, that's so amazing. And I know it's horrible. It's horrible to
yes,
go through.
it
It's
is.
absolutely horrible. It's just like having food poisoning or something.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you know how good it feels when you're done having food poisoning. You're like, oh my God, you forgot
Well,
how good it feels to just feel healthy. You'll have a somewhat similar experience.
on top of the bad feelings, I've also felt joy, which I haven't felt, like true joy.
Oh.
And like watching my grandson and running through puddles with him, it just filled my heart. And before I would do it, like just go through the motions, but it was actually amazing.
Oh, Kim, that makes me so happy. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Okay.
Yeah, good. So keep checking in with me, keep being here.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, you know, we might actually, I'm going to take a few more people, but I'm having an idea of what I want the next challenge to be. Okay, thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
Keep checking in every 2 weeks, please.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, I want to remind you guys too that you all have access to Sally on Voxer. If anything comes up for you that you're stuck on, that you need an answer, right away, Sally is there and she's able to help you guys. She's also a certified coach and she lost 100 pounds herself and she loves this group. She loves you guys. And so if you need help like right in that moment, reach out to her so that you don't have to wait for 2 weeks to talk to me. Okay. That's just one of the resources that we have for you. Okay. Hey, Jan.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. My win is that I had just had breakfast this morning. Wasn't at all hungry, but I was facing kind of a daunting task that not facing it helps me to avoid doing what I would have to do if I actually got it done. And so after I'd had breakfast and maybe an hour later, I was just like, there's got to be some chocolate around. And so I did the push the food away, which lasted about 10 minutes. And then I realized, okay, forget it. I'm just going to eat the freaking chocolate. And so I had a little piece, but then I thought, okay, this just isn't sitting well with me. I'm going to go try to figure out what's going on. And so I went and did the self-sabotage script. And so I felt like that was kind of a win because even though I did go ahead and eat something, that I didn't really need, I was curious enough to go further and do some tapping about it.
Oh, awesome, Jan. That's so great. Congratulations. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah,
with me.
thank you. I do have a few questions and I can do them kind of rapid fire, nothing super involved, I don't think, unless you choose to expound. But there are things that have come up during this first week that I've been doing this. One thing occurred to me last week. It was the first time I've ever done this, that I can say to the food, you're not in control, I'm in control.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I want to understand that more, that idea of taking, having agency, taking authority over the food. And so sometimes instead of, I don't want to use it instead of tapping, but I have to admit it's kind of a quick go-to. It's like, no, you're not the boss here. I'm the boss here.
Have you ever watched my video Breaking Up with Food?
Yes, I did.
Okay, cool. So I have a whole script around that, and there's some really good language in there for how to like put food in its place. And
Okay.
it's a little bit softer. It's like, for people that have used food as a friend and as a companion,
Okay.
for the years, it's kind of breaking that connection. But you also might find some, yeah, I mean, you can also come up with your own like phrases in your back pocket that you say when you're maybe experiencing a craving. The thing is, I think that's good for small micro decisions. Grand scheme of things, you don't want to use that all the time. You're going to want to use the techniques.
Yeah, I don't even want to have to have it. I don't even want
Yeah,
to have to go there. I want freedom from that. And
totally.
I also want to be careful not to go into self-control, that or willpower. It's like,
Right.
oh, this is
Right.
my willpower standing up. And
Totally, totally. So that is a really great way to train yourself when you can't tap or when you are choosing not to tap. That's a really good
okay.
uh like neural pathway to form in your brain because the more you practice that, the stronger that one will get.
True.
But ultimately, you're going to want to tap as much as you can so that you don't have those feelings.
Right. Okay, perfect. That answers that. Another question is, um, I've spent most of my adult life trying to be guided by my hunger and fullness signals. Not obviously not always successfully, and I too was bulimic in college and a little afterwards. And so tons of issues in history there, but I feel like we have these God-given hunger and fullness signals for a reason. I mean, that's what we're supposed to be paying attention to. But then I listened to laser coaching on the March 4th, and you said something to someone about eating 3 meals with no snacks. And I was just like, okay, if I'm doing that, then I'm ignoring my hunger and fullness signals. So
It's
not
not,
like
that's not
itches.
something, yeah, that's not something that I want you to focus on right now. That's something for people that are further into the program and towards
Okay.
the end of it.
Okay.
And that's more of an experiment, because I also believe that we can train ourselves in hunger and fullness. And that's actually been studied, that
Mhm.
we will be hungry when when our body expects to be fed. And if we feed ourselves enough in between each meal, then we shouldn't be hungry at all.
Mm.
So it's kind of like, do
Mm.
you have kids? Did you sleep train your kids?
What was that?
It's
I'm sorry.
it's like having a dog or kids. You have to
Oh,
like
yeah.
train them to do certain things. Like you have to train your dog to, go potty outside, or you train your kids to
Mhm.
sleep. You can train your body to be hungry at certain times. And so it's a
Oh,
way that we use to make sure, to also see what's actual hunger and what's emotional eating. But you're too early in the program to do
yeah.
so.
So
We can circle back to that.
does that mean that at times that we can actually feel physical hunger, even if it's just a thought or
No, no. If you're feeling physically hungry, that's hunger, but most people don't know the physical hunger feeling.
oh, I'm well acquainted.
Great.
So,
Okay. So
yeah.
Jan,
Okay.
my sense is that you already have a system for eating, and
Mhm.
I don't think you should veer off from that.
Okay.
So
Great.
use techniques when you know that it's an emotional hunger and not a physical hunger.
Okay. And along with that, I've heard there in multiple areas in the program, um, talking about, like I will eat only foods that are good for me or whatever. To me, in my experience, that has set me up for rebellion. It's like saying, no, you can't have that because that's not a good food. And I'm not a person who believes in good and bad foods. It's just food, and I receive it with gratitude, and I don't overdo it on the junk. But to tell myself I am not going to eat something that's not good for me makes this thing well up that just says, oh yeah, well, watch this.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of interpretations of what good could mean, because I'm with you. I will allow myself to have sweets or to have, fruit or sugar or carbs or whatever it is when I want that. I just don't overdo it.
Okay.
So my interpretation of good is whatever is good for you psychologically,
Okay.
emotionally, and physically. So
I like that.
sometimes it's psychologically good for you to have the Oreo cookie.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Another one. Is there a tapping that talks about like if we have just a lack of motivation? It's just kind of for the times when we're just like, oh, bag it today. I'm just gonna when something in us really doesn't want to do that, but there's
Yeah.
still that thought.
Yeah. You know what? I would go to the Facebook files,
I
and
have looked through there.
have you? Okay, and you don't find anything about motivate. I think there's one about I don't want to tap. There's one about not
Okay.
to tap. So that could be helpful.
Okay, I'll check that.
Yeah.
And then I'm sorry for this list. um, and then the last one, I'm going on a vacation next week and haven't done that for a long time with my sister-in-law. And I find myself feeling a little bit anxious about it because I kind of have a history of like for celebrations or things that are like outside the norm of life, like, oh, I deserve, this is a special day, I could do this, or this is a special time that we won't be here again, so I'm going to go ahead and indulge in this. And I'm a little bit leery of that. I don't want to go through the whole trip acting like, oh, it's just one big party and I'm going to do what I
Yeah.
want.
I talk about this in the module 2 the second recording, it's called Cravings in Cravings in Groups or at Parties, I believe is what it's called.
Okay.
So listen to that audio. It's a whole class on, and we talk exactly about what you're asking.
Perfect.
Yeah. Also,
Great.
my other
Okay.
hack for eating while on vacation is I will typically let myself eat bigger meals, and I'll just have 2 meals instead of 3, but I let myself have whatever I want. And within reason, obviously.
Yeah.
But
As I've gotten older, I find myself kind of naturally gravitating towards eating about half of what I used to. And I even use a salad plate because it's just, it fills up
yeah.
and that's enough. So I'll probably ask my sister-in-law, can we just split something? Because we're not going to have, if I can
Yeah.
bring leftovers home or, throw it out or give it away or whatever, that's fine. But on a trip, you really can't do that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, figure that out. Okay, that's all I
Okay.
got.
Thanks,
Thank
Dan.
you.
You're welcome. Have fun on your trip. Okay, Jennifer.
Hi.
Hi.
So couple of wins. One is about 2 weeks ago, I had a couple of really big tapping sessions and I felt on such a high for like a little over a week. And it was
Mm,
lovely to feel like I'd uncovered some big things and I felt like I was operating out of a baseline happy mode, which is
it's nice.
not standard for me.
Yeah.
And it was really wonderful. And then on Thursday or Friday, like I've come back down and I'm not quite as like struggling emotionally and trying to find equilibrium as I had been, but so the week of up is the win. Part of my question is how do I not, or any tips about finding that regulation because it's really hard.
Yeah. You just want to
Um,
go back there.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean, I guess another win is even when I'm now in this place where I feel a lot of sadness just surface or overwhelm. I'm feeling really overwhelmed at work right now. Um, I'm not as much turning to food, so that's a win,
That's a great
even though
one.
there's a whole lot of work to still be done. And I did a ball of light the other day with an Oreo cookie, and I actually threw half of it away when I got to the end. It was like
Awesome.
really amazing. So yay raw. But but yeah, so just any tips or guidance to, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. No, I totally understand where you are, and I think probably everybody on this call can relate because this is something that everybody goes through. You just started. You just started, and the fact that you've had a couple tapping sessions and you felt that freedom and that you had that experience of feeling so amazing, that is what is on the other side of you once you go through the whole program and once you process everything that you're meant to process at this time. I don't know how long it will take you, and I don't know if you're going to have a purge or if, we don't know what's going to happen. Only you and your higher self knows. So I trust that you guys are being guided through this. In the best way for you personally. So I have the tools, I have the resources. I came up with the system, but your higher self is the one that's guiding you through the process here. So I think what my perspective is how great it is that you've had that experience. It's almost like your higher self showing you like, hey, this is what life is going to be like on the other side of this.
Mm.
And just because you feel bad again doesn't mean you're going back to baseline, and it doesn't mean that all that work that you did to get you to that happy place didn't count. What's actually happening is you're going deeper and you're going to like another little area of the brain, and there's some other clusters of traumas and memories that need to be cleaned up right now. But it's almost like your higher self knew that you needed to know what you're working for. So it gave you like it gave you a break, right? It's so fascinating to see the spiritual journey of everybody that goes through this program because it happens differently for everybody. And so it's my job to kind of like notice things and to like tap into it and I'll understand it and decipher it for you because
Yeah.
I've been through all of it. It's all happened to me. Sometimes things happen to you that don't happen to me, but not often. Okay, so your higher self is like, hey, here's a sneak peek into what your future can be like. And so I think right now, just having the courage and to like stay the course and to dive into these other things that are coming up for you and give yourself permission to not be okay right now because it's okay to not be okay. And most everybody that's going through this program that's healing their shit, nobody's okay while they're healing their shit. Like it's just you're just not. Um, and it sucks and it feels like shit and it feels like it's never going to end, but it does end. It does end. I promise you. I promise you it does end. Um, so yeah, I don't know if that's helpful or not, but I see that as a really good sign and I think you're completely on the right track and just keep doing exactly what you were doing and try to be as kind to yourself as possible.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, you're welcome. I'm glad you checked in. Okay, Anna. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
My win is that when I come home from a dinner, I'm not eating anymore. So I go to bed and I don't have to eat anymore. Because
Great.
before I used to have a little chocolate or something, but I go to bed right away.
Wow.
I don't want to pass by the kitchen. So it's a
Okay.
win.
Well done. Congratulations.
And then my question is very simple. When I go to Publix, the supermarket or whatever, on the way back, I have to eat something that I bought. So I don't know what to do with that problem.
Okay,
Because
so that's happening.
yeah, so
Okay.
it's I don't know if to tap in the car or I don't know what to do, but I cannot get home without eating anything.
Yeah, I remember that. I used to have that problem also. It's really frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah.
Um, so is it always, is it something, okay, tell me how you experience it. When you put something in your cart, do you start to
Yeah.
think about it like when you're in the grocery store, you start to
No,
think,
no. When I'm in my car driving home, I would like to eat something that I bought. Like,
but is it always like, this is what I'm trying to figure out. Do you know when you put it in the cart that that's the thing you're going to want to eat in the car on the way home? Or is
may-
it when you get in the car, you need something to eat when you go home?
maybe I buy dark chocolate maybe in on the way home. Yeah, I'll have a little piece.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm doing my own bad thing. I don't know.
Okay. But
Buying the chocolate. I shouldn't buy the chocolate.
okay, so when you think about it, when you put the chocolate in your cart, do you start thinking about it right then that that's what you want to eat in the car?
No, no, no. But when I'm in the car, I said, "Oh, I bought the chocolate. I should try now. I cannot
Okay.
wait
Is
until
it
home." I say,
is it always the chocolate or does it change?
"It's a chocolate.
Okay. Have you done the ball of light on chocolate?
I have to do it then. More,
Okay.
more. I have to do it more. I mean, I did it only
Maybe.
once. Mhm.
Okay, maybe sometimes with the really sticky ones, sometimes we have to do those a few times.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I would try
Okay,
that. If it's the same food every time, that's a sign that it's ball of light.
okay.
Okay.
Thank you,
All
thank
right.
you.
Thanks,
Okay,
Anna. You're
bye.
welcome. Bye. Okay, just by a show of hands, I want to look at the screen here. Who is struggling with emotional eating like a lot right now? Okay, keep your hands up, please. Keep your hands up. Okay. Um, do you guys, okay, so here there's an option. There's an option to keep the 30-day push the food away tapping group open, or to start a new group. Well, we have some people that are in it still. We'll keep that open regardless, but we could also start a new group that is for anger and for, we'll call it like the purge. That's like an anger. Yeah. Just somebody. Okay. I see. Marisabel is like really into that idea. Okay. Marisabel, Michelle. Okay. Who, and you can do both. Like you're like, if you want to be a real overachiever, you could do both. Kim, are you trying to unmute yourself? Are you saying yes? Okay, so let's do this. Let's start a new. Mary Isabel, would you be willing to start the WhatsApp group for that?
Yes, I would.
Great. Okay. So we're at the top of the hour. I'm gonna stay on and take the rest of the questions, but I want to make sure that you guys have a challenge for the next 2 weeks. I don't want to do a purge for more than 2 weeks because I think that's too much. So who wants to join the purge group? Great. Okay. So what we're going to do is, Mary Isabel, will you put, so the way that we join groups is on WhatsApp. Mary Isabel will put her phone number in the chat. So anybody that wants to join the purge group, add her phone number to your phone, download WhatsApp, the app if you need to download it, and then send Mary Isabel a message on WhatsApp and she'll add you to the purge group. Okay. Mary Isabel, you're good with that? Okay, awesome. Okay, so let's get into the particulars of what we do for the purge group. I'm really curious. I've never done this before, so this will be kind of like a trial with you guys. So please, if you go into the purge, please make sure that you can come back to the next call in 2 weeks and check in with me. Okay. So move your schedule around, put it on your calendar, commit to that now because I want to hear from you guys. Also, if something really crazy comes up, you have access to Sally, you have the coaches in the group. If you guys are in study, if you're in like the smaller group, the buddy groups, in the study buddy groups, you can talk to your coach about it. They all know what a purge is. They all know, that everybody can help you, and everybody that is a coach has been through a purge. So I think what we should do is for the purge group, let's commit to doing having a purge and doing some anger tapping 5 times in a 7-day period. If you want to do more than that, you can, but 5 purges in 7 days, which is a lot. Typically though, when you're in a purge, you will purge in a day and then you'll want to purge the next day too. So it might just so happen that it'll just come up. And your subconscious mind will be like, oh great, we're in a purge. And so now we're going to want to purge all the yucky stuff. So please make sure that you have the time, you have the resources, you are not like on a really tight schedule with work. You don't have a bunch of shit piling up. You don't have a bunch of people in your house. Please make sure that you take care of yourself through this, because doing 5 purges in a week is a really, really big commitment. Okay. At the end of that 7 days, you can decide if you want to do another week of it and another 5 purges, or the second week you take a break and you come and you share with me what happened. Okay. If you're not able to do 5 purges in 1 week, I want you to try for that. If you can't do 5 purges in 1 week, you can also take the full 2 weeks. Like sometimes you just need a day or two to let things settle, or like you're not feeling angry and you can't access those emotions. So if that's happening to you, then take the next week to do your 5 purges. Try to do 5 in the first week though. Okay. Here's some tips for how to allow yourself to feel angry if you don't feel angry. Okay, I've done this myself. It totally works. Tapping and saying, even though you're only going to say yes to this if you know that this is something that you need to work through. If you feel frustrated, if you feel angry, if you feel overwhelmed, if you've got a lot of emotions bubbling up to the surface and you kind of like don't know what to do with them. If you feel super, super resistant to this idea too, this might be something to explore. So one of the things that you can do is you can tap. So say you wake up and you're having a day where you don't feel angry, but you just like don't quite feel good. Like you don't know what it is. You don't feel good. Maybe you feel a little depressed, or I don't know, you just kind of feel like, tapping through the points and saying, even though I don't feel angry, let's see, even though I don't feel angry, even though I know I'm angry, but I can't feel it right now. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I feel angry, but I can't feel it right now. Even though there's some part of me that's angry right now, but I can't feel it. I love and accept myself anyway. And I allow the part that's angry to come to the surface. You guys, repeating this or something like that for just a couple of minutes will give you access to your anger, and it opens up a well. This was how I finally healed my avoidant attachment problem, because the way to heal the avoidant attachment is to get really angry at the parent who loved you too much, which is really hard to do. So I had to get angry at the parent that I got the most love from. So the way that I was able to tap into that anger, which I did not feel at all, was, even though I know I should be angry right about this, but I can't feel it right now. I love and accept myself. So I'm just giving you that, guys, that as an example, so that it can maybe spark some ideas for what your perfect phrase is. So maybe it's, even though I know there's anger inside of me, but I don't feel it right now, I love and accept myself, and I choose to let that part of myself come to the surface. Something to that effect. That will really help you tap into your anger, and it might be a big purge, it might be a little purge, but always, whenever I did that, and I just repeated the same sentence over and over again, and I tapped until I felt the anger come up. It usually would take me between 3 and 5 minutes. Okay. So little hack to get you focused on anger. Thank you, Mary Isabel, for putting that group together. So you guys, 5 purges in a week. If you can't get to 5 purges, take the second week to get your 5 purges in. And in the group chat, what you're going to do is you're going to share your wins. Okay. So keep in mind, we want this group to be positive. It's kind of like a low vibration. This is a low vibration that we're trying to purge out of our bodies. Okay. So we don't want to be purging this onto other people. We want to get it out of our body and then share the highlights. Okay. Like, oh, maybe right after you're done with the purge isn't the time to share. Maybe it's the next day, or maybe it's a couple hours from then, when you've settled back into yourself and you feel different. You can share how you feel different. Okay. So keep in mind that somebody might be feeling a purge, or they might not have done their purge at that point. And so you want these to be encouraging for other people to get their purge in. Okay. Does that make sense? Does anybody have questions about this? You can raise your hand on the screen and I'll just unmute you. Here, let me look at the second screen. Anybody have questions about this? Oh yeah, Cindy.
So since I'm already going through a purge, should I still be doing this?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Okay. And then secondly, several people have contacted me on the group chat they want to join the Push the Food Away. If ever
Great.
I posted my phone number,
Great.
if everyone can just please contact me through WhatsApp, and I will add you to the list.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, yay. All right, I'm excited. So those of you that are doing the Push the Food Away purge, the Push the Food Away challenge is it's 30 days of Push the Food Away. Okay. If so, this for people that eat emotionally, typically you eat emotionally every single day, right? You either you want sugar after a meal, or there's one meal that you eat, or there's a snack that you have when you're not really hungry, you're just kind of feeling snacky. Um, so, oh, shoot, I saw somebody, there's no script for the purge. We're doing anger work. We're calling it a purge. We're just doing anger work. So there's a whole bunch of resources for how to do anger work in the resources center of your program. So with the push the food away, you're going to push the food away every single day for 30 days. If you and this is only when you feel like you want to eat and you know you're not really hungry. So again, it's sugar after a meal, it's snacking in between meals, it's wanting to eat when you know you're not really hungry. It's the feeling of having a binge, or just wanting to eat something just because you are trying to avoid a negative emotion, or you just feel like eating, you're not actually physically hungry. Okay, so those are all the ways that you would use push the food away. 30 days, so once a day for 30 days. If you miss a day, the only rule is that you start again the next day. Okay, you don't fall off, you don't beat yourself up, you don't let 2 days go by where you miss. You get right back on the horse and you start again pushing the food away the next day, the very next day. Okay. Mary Isabel, will you put your phone number in the chat, please? So Mary Isabel is organizing the Purge group, and Cindy is organizing the Push the Food Away. You can be in both. If you're a total overachiever, you can be in both. Just please don't overwhelm yourself. And if you start to feel overwhelmed with doing too many things, often I can't do more than one tapping session on myself per day. So if you're in the Purge and you want to do the Push the Food Away, you can add anger to the Push the Food Away. And same thing with push the food away. If you are in the purge, you can add anger to that, but try not to overwhelm yourself and do too much all at once. Okay. All right. Sydney, and then Gemma will be next. Hi, Sydney.
Hey, Brittany. Hey,
How are
everyone.
you?
Okay. I will definitely share some wins. I think I need some focus, and there's so many layers and so many things I could do that I'm like, I don't want to overwhelm myself. Like literally what you're just saying. Yeah. So I think last Monday we had a laser call, and you had I had said I'm having really a lot of trouble sending my sister and my stepdad to the healing center, and you had asked me to think about justice, what that would mean. That was very helpful. I had a very purgative, great, genuine anger release with my sister. Yeah. Whew. And then the next day was the study group with Kat, the ball light, where I had this grief that was uncovered with my grandma around ice cream. Just something like that thing that just comes up that I was not aware of, that was so healing to then process through. And then after that, I was like, I'm not, for the next like 5 days, didn't do push the food away. I'm in the push the food away challenge. I wasn't, no emotion, no drive to eat emotionally. Felt so much happiness, ease. This is great. And then so those are major wins. And then also like just coming to like, ooh, like a natural like rest, just taking some time, like days to integrate.
Totally.
Yeah. And we had my partner and I had some friends over, and such a good time. After they left, I found myself wanting to eat emotionally. I think from having, or actually, I don't even know. It's like, these are happy feelings I'm having. I want to keep it going. I'm associating like celebratory feelings with certain foods.
Great. Is
And
that what it is? Is that the driver? If you think about it?
it was like a loss of like, I don't want this to go away.
Great. Okay. That's super, super easy. And I'm so glad you caught that. When you go through a big purge and when you have this experience where you do a lot of healing work and then you have this lull where you're not eating emotionally anymore, just because something new comes up doesn't mean that all that work that you did. I keep repeating this to everybody individually because um, truly these are just small things that you need to clean up. I remember Sally sharing, actually, I don't know if she's still here, but Sally sharing, she'd lost like 80 pounds or 100 pounds, and she had like 8 or 9 months where she wasn't craving anything. And then she started noticing that she was going to the sugar. I think this is what it was. She was going to the chocolate. She just did one tapping session on the chocolate and then it was fine again. So had she not known that, oh, sometimes little things come up, and has she not dealt with it, she might have started eating the chocolate and then, put a bunch of weight back on. So sometimes throughout your journey, you will have little things come up, but once you do all of this deep inner healing, you never have to go back and do that level of deep inner healing again. You might have to do some maintenance things once in a while. I don't know if you're at that level yet, but this I see is a very small maintenance type of thing, that it's like a micro adjustment.
Yeah.
So what I would do with that is go to module 2 and listen to the second audio in module 2, where I talk about cravings in group situations and celebratory feelings with food. So it's literally just the ball of light with the friends and the family that you just shared that time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You literally just said this to someone else. Like
I did, but it's worth repeating because it's
yeah.
good to, it's really hard when you're going through that. And it's good to be reminded personally that like, that's happening for you too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say to join the purgative group?
I don't know. I don't actually know if I'm not sensing that that's for you right now.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Again, I'm like, I want to do everything. And then I sabotage myself. And then I literally did just have surgery on my neck like 4 months ago.
Oh,
I'm in this time where I'm like, I have this time, I have this space. I want to
great.
heal all this stuff, but then I also don't want the rebelliousness to come out and be like, well, like this is too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honey, I think what you just went through was like enough for months. So
Yeah. Yeah.
your energy feels really clean to me, and you feel really light right now. And I don't know if that's how you're feeling, but yeah, that's how I'm experiencing you. And that, like, the last time that we checked in, I felt a lot of heaviness and the darkness. It was like these things were kind of sinking you, and I see
Yeah.
a lot of light around
Yeah.
you. So I say just bask in this for as long as you can, and let yourself celebrate what you just went through, because you just moved a behemoth of an emotional trauma.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you,
Yeah.
Brittany.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Yeah. Congratulations. That's a massive undertaking what you just went through. So well done
Thank you.
I can tell that really, that you did it to completion. So
Cool. That's
yeah,
awesome. Thank you.
you're welcome. You're
Mm.
welcome. Yeah. Okay. Wow, you guys are processing some big stuff right now. Oh my gosh. We're in the thick of it. Okay, Gemma, how are you, Gemma? Long time no
Hello,
see
I'm
your
well.
face.
Yes. It's my first time joining the call. Normally, the times are not suitable for me, so I'm home early today, so I was able to join in. Um, so I actually am a rejoiner. I was in, I think maybe your first thing,
A
and
long
then
time
advanced a
ago.
long time ago, maybe
Long time
11
ago.
years ago.
Yeah.
I could never get past Push the Food Away. I never completed that course because I couldn't do it. So my win for 11 years. I finally took the food away.
Did you?
Mhm. several
Oh,
times. And
amazing.
the more I do it, the more I'm like, okay, I get it. I get it. I understand why everyone is talking about it, why everyone is making such a big deal about it. I get it. I couldn't do it for so long, and now, I think also I had a kind of misunderstanding about the technique. I kind of Dorota, I'm one of Dorota's buddies, and she's kind of been helping me with this. I felt that I had to have a specific memory to link onto, like something that I would remember consciously when I was doing Push the Food Away. And what I've discovered is that by doing it more, I don't necessarily have a specific conscious memory. I feel it, and I'm being drawn into a memory, even if I can't remember, oh, that was when I was this age. I have an idea of how old I am, but I don't have a conscious memory. And I've just been following that and just going along with it, and found yeah, big shifts from doing it. So yeah, I've just, it's been a really big win for me. And I
Okay.
didn't join the Push the Food Away group because just due to my life and things, I prefer to do that when I'm completely alone. My partner goes out 2 nights a week to visit his mother. So on those 2 nights of the week, that is the nights when I do that, and I'm completely alone, and I can make something I really like, or that I will find, it's important for me to work on.
Great.
So that's what I've been doing just on those kind of 2 nights a week, or any other time that I'm totally alone and able to do that. And yeah, I've had some big shifts. So it was a really big deal for me.
Awesome. Thank you for taking care of yourself, and thank you for knowing what works for you and honoring your boundaries around that. So I think that's fantastic, and I'm
Yeah,
so happy for you, and I'm so
thank
glad
you.
that you're finally able to do push the
Progress.
Yes.
I only have one thing to report in terms of something that I still need to work on, and this is perhaps something that will come up later in the course as I kind of continue now that I've gotten past this challenge. Um, I've only really had one major instance of emotional eating since joining the course. And that was recently when I was on my own for the weekend, and that's usually a big thing for me in terms of secret eating. Normally, if I knew I was going to be on my own, I would be planning what am I going to have. I would be really excited about it. And this did kind of happen for the first time in ages, just a couple of weeks ago. I ordered something I didn't want. I wasn't really hungry, but it was no one can see me doing it, so that's why I did it. I managed to kind of turn it around, and I had a little bit one night, and then over the next kind of 24 hours, I just used the kind of leftovers for Push the Food Away. So I kind of managed to, I feel, kind of turn it into a positive. I just wondered, with regards to secret eating in particular, is that something that comes up more maybe in the self-sabotage section? Is that something we'll deal with in the coming modules, or anything you'd recommend for that?
I don't put secret eating in one category. The way that I see it, it's kind of like the high level, what I would tell you is secret eating is push the food away. So
Mhm.
it's going to be an aspect of something that had to do with something from your past. And I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
That's going to be particular to you. So
yeah.
I could see it being combined with needing some anger work.
Mhm.
This is like for you, this is an answer directly for you. I don't know if this is the case with everybody, but for you, there's going to be some sort of anger work mixed in with the secret eating, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So if
Okay.
you could get, if you do see, so you do secret eating when other people are around?
That I did. I haven't
Okay.
been doing it for a while, so that's the first time in a long time that it's happened. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah. So if that comes back, or if you need to deal with it, there'll be some sort of way that you'll have to like figure out how to do some anger purging, but with people there. So like maybe screaming and muffling your sound, or silent screaming, or hitting pillows, or something like that. But I could see that being important for you
Okay.
to learn how to do when other people are around, but maybe like go into a closet or go into your car or something like that. There's something
Okay.
triggering about other people being around that's making that happen.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Thank you
Okay.
for that advice.
Thanks,
That's
Gemma.
super.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Okay, Crystal, you guys, I've seen some of you guys try to at me in the chats. I'm not checking chats, so if you want to check in with me on this call, you'll have to raise your hand and check in with me. Also, mostly because I pick up the frequency of what your problem is when I hear your voice. And so often I can't solve your problem nearly as well if I just read a message from you as I can if you tell me live and in person. That's one of the reasons that well, that's just one of the reasons that I prefer this modality and this method. You'll get a lot better answer, and you'll get an answer that's particular for you if you actually share your voice with me. So just putting it out there. Hi, Crystal.
Hi. Um, my win is just that I'm really making progress with some of my coach calls and being able to figure out anger that I didn't even know I have. You know, anger at people that I don't think I'm angry with, you know, but so that's a win. My question is starting this, I can't seem to make a decision. I'm a very decisive person, and I usually can make decisions very easily, and I am waffling all over the place on decisions that are important for me to make. And I didn't know if any of that tied into that. Have you ever heard anybody say that?
I've never heard anybody say that. No.
Okay, well, it must be some other reason that I'm waffling, then I don't know what it is, but I just wanted to see if when you're working in your brain and you're trying to rewire things,
It makes
is my
sense.
brain like confusion? My brain is confused. It doesn't.
Well, your brain's reorganizing and restructuring. And so it makes sense to me that you might I've never heard somebody say that they lose anything that they wanted. I wouldn't be worried. Wait, I lost you on my screen. I can't find you.
Oh, I don't know. Somebody else put my hand down. So, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
So
there you go. I found you.
there could be some confusion because I'm reorganizing the brain. It could be something else that's going on in my life right now. I don't know, but I was just curious about that because I'm really waffling where I want to live. How do I want to live? Where do I want to be? I'm trying to decide, you know, if I'm going to come back to Wisconsin to live.
Those
And
are really big decisions. So, I mean, I'm not surprised that these are hard decisions.
Yeah.
Where you want to live is a huge decision. One of the ways that I use tapping to help me make decisions, if anybody else has like does anybody else have decision fatigue or like have a hard time picking something, you're not really sure, you're of two minds about something. Okay, so this is actually a really cool technique that's super, super simple. And all you do is you allow yourself to go back and forth. You have that conversation. Do I want to live here? Should I move here? What should I do here? You allow yourself to say out loud both of the things that you are trying to decide between. But all you do is you tap through the points while you're doing it. Remember, we want to tap slowly. Sometimes when you're saying these things and going back and forth, because your brain goes back and forth so fast, you'll tap really fast. That can actually make you more anxious. So remember to just go slowly as you're saying both of the things back and forth, as you're saying out loud what the two decisions are. After about 5 to 7 minutes of that, there will be one clear answer for you in that moment, or you'll get bored. You'll feel like you don't have any resolution. You'll walk away, and then later on it'll hit you. Like, oh,
awesome.
Yeah. So sometimes it works right in that moment, and sometimes just tapping on both of the things for like between 5 and 7 minutes and then walking away will help you clear up it'll help your brain organize it in the way that's perfect and right for you. And then the right answer will come through.
And are you tapping on both sides?
I was just doing, I don't know why I was doing that.
You just showed, or do I just do the one side
that I don't? Just one side is fine. You don't have to.
Okay. Awesome. I'll try that.
Okay, cool. Let us know how it works.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Crystal. Okay, Jennifer and Christina. Oh, shoot. I muted you.
That's okay. I was one of the naughty people who tagged you because I thought it was an easy way to ask your question.
I can't do two at once.
That's okay. I totally appreciate that, and appreciate that you work to be really present when you're talking with people.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to reach out and see if you thought that joining the purge group would be a wise thing for me to do, or
Yes,
if okay.
yes, you inspired
Okay.
that.
Okay.
You're a
All
part of the
right. I will
original
go sign up.
inspiration. 100%.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. All right, Christina. Christina, you got to unmute yourself. Hi.
Hi. I was wondering, I've been like doing a lot of like anger work and I've been dealing with like some really deep emotions and stuff. And I was wondering like, what should I be doing next? Like, I'm not quite sure where to go.
Sure.
Like I went, like, I felt really, really good. I did a bunch of like, had some really good breakthroughs, feeling really, really good. And then this weekend I kind of went, and I felt like I wrote a script and I felt really good about it. And then when I tried to like read it in front of a group yesterday, I had a really, like, I felt all these like emotions coming up while I was doing it, like feeling bad about myself um, and like feeling rejected, and nobody was doing that, but I felt all these things like self, like a lot of those feelings came up when I was trying to read a script.
Okay, but you were reading it in front of like a buddy group? Okay. So were you experiencing social anxiety and maybe some like imposter syndrome? Does that make like who am I? Why am I doing this? They're all looking at me, they're judging me, this isn't good enough. Did your inner critic get really loud?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's not something that you've worked on specifically, doing push the food away and the ball of light and all of the things. That's a totally separate thing that's great to tap on, and it's great to work through that. Social anxiety is a real thing. And I think it's a great problem to tap on, but it makes sense that you would have that experience in that moment. It doesn't mean that all the tapping you did on food and the purge didn't work. Okay, so those are totally different things. How are you doing with food, with your eating, with food, snacking, sugar?
I was doing really good until last night after the call. I kind of had like, I ate last night and I have been really good about, like, it hasn't been, I've wanted to eat at night, and last night I wanted to, like, really bad.
Okay. Okay, cool. Can you what and before that, after you did all the purging and the anger work, how long did you go without having that feeling of needing to eat to soothe yourself?
About 4 days.
4 days. Okay, great. What do you feel more called towards, the purge group or the push the food away group?
I think the purge.
The purge. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Add some push the food away. Do one session on push the food away. Go back and rewind what happened when you were in front of the group and reading your script. And from that anxiety that you're feeling about reading the script and all the self-judgment, go back in time and do some healing on yourself. That will help you heal your social anxiety and whatever caused you to eat later on. So that because I imagine that you still want to do that and you still want to keep coming to the calls and keep participating. And I applaud you for doing that, especially when it's like in front of a group. It's really scary to do that. Almost everybody has social anxiety. There's very few people that don't have social anxiety. So you're not alone. We all have this. Even I have this. I get in front of, like, I always get nervous when I teach webinars. I don't get nervous in these calls because I've been doing them so long and I feel like we're all friends. But yeah, if you don't know people, if it's something you've never done before, it's totally normal that you would have that experience. So just go back, and you might need to do 3 rounds on it. You might only need 1. I don't know, but heal that for yourself. Okay. Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks, Christina. I'm sorry you went through that. Okay, Christine, and then we'll close up with Sally. Hi, Christine. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi.
Hi.
So let me just figure this out. My goodness. Okay. So I'm just starting this program, and I feel like something that's been coming up for me is feeling so scared that I can't, like, I'm just starting, so I'm gonna go tapping, but I feel scared knowing that I'm pretty much facing death. And
Mm.
that's like so scary to me that my brain will just totally like, as the image starts to come, the amount of fear is so great that I've always felt like that's blocked my self-development because I needed, a coach to basically, I guess, be there with me. But I haven't tried this with tapping and being there for myself. And so I'm going to do it. But I guess I feel like, if it comes up that the emotion of fear is just so great, it kind of scares me because I've done a lot of work. I've had lots of whatnot, but change, and growth. This is an area that's keeping me from uh, being vulnerable and finding a partner in life. And I'm definitely, an emotional eater, and it's more about those last 10 pounds, the last 15 pounds. It's about shining. It's about knowing that if I shine, then I could attract people into my life, and then, feeling confident that I can handle myself and that I won't die from it. So I associated, let's say, marriage with death. And so it was very easy to keep me away. And food was just so connected in my life in every way. It was a fabric of my upbringing. So I just feel that through healing from the emotional eating of food, pushing the food away and everything, like I did the ball of light when you had the introductory 6 recordings, and it was incredible. So I felt like somebody who knows about tapping, boom, you can get right to the source, which is awesome. Mm, So for me, I talked to Sally the other day about, the people who are available for the coaching. And I think I would definitely be interested in that. And I just want to know about, how to team up the right person for me. Because I kind of feel like I know what I need from a coach because I've done a lot of my own work from having a life coach in the past who showed me. And so, yeah, and I've been a life coach to other people who've transformed their life. So I need someone for me because I've been too scared to deal with this one issue that would just transform my life in so many different areas.
Yeah, I understand. We don't hand select coaches for people in particular. Sally might have a better understanding of who is available. I'm not involved with that part of the process. And I will also encourage you uh, to allow the coach to lead you. It's great that you've done so much work, and you can start with a really clear picture. But in my work, in what we do, we allow the food to take you to the traumas. We don't start with the traumas first. So even though you might know what the problem, or you think you know what the problem is, often it's not actually the problem that's causing the emotional eating. And so what I would want you to be really aware of is that part of you that's like, oh no, I need to work on this. Or you can, and you'll learn how to use the techniques, and you can learn how to apply them on other areas of your life. But in terms of healing your emotional eating and that compulsion to food, you don't want to decide what the problem is before the food has told you and shown
I
you.
understand what you're saying. I
Okay.
do understand that.
Okay. So yeah, I highly encourage you to get a coach. I don't think we're going to have coaching for that long because we're limited. I'm actually going to start a coaching certification in another couple of months just so that we have more coaches that are certified in my method, but we only have a couple right now. So if there is space in that, then I would say
Get
absolutely.
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But thank you for being here, and I can't wait to be with you on your journey.
Thank you. Yeah, you're awesome. It's amazing.
Thanks, Christine. Thanks, Christine, so much. All right, Sally.
Hi, Brooke. I mean,
Brooke.
Brooke. I was just reading Brooks.
Oh,
Brooks.
okay.
Yeah, Brooke's awesome too. I wanted to address Christina about her anxiety on the. She did really well on the buddy call. I've been encouraging the students to write scripts from their heart and then present them, which she did. But just before she did hers, a brand new student who's been in for maybe a week, Jill Bevington, she did a script on that very thing. Fear of speaking out in a group. And she posted it on Facebook, so anybody who is having that issue can go use it. It was awesome.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that resource. That is so good. You know what, you guys? I just realized that I have social anxiety when I'm meeting new people, and I tapped through it. It took me 3 sessions with my coach, and I am having I'm having such a different experience of meeting new people. And I've been in Austin for 2 years, and I've made a couple new friends, but not tons. And I'm making friends so much easier, so much faster. I'm finding ways to connect with people. I feel so much happier. Just being able to like not feel awkward when I'm meeting somebody new, or not have to get in my head about like finding a way to connect with somebody. So social anxiety is a real thing. And I think it gets worse as you get older. That's what I'm experiencing anyway. Yeah, if anybody feels called to that, definitely go through and tap on that and use that script. Thank you, Sally, for offering that.
I don't know if you heard my voice shaking when I was talking. I still have it. And so yeah, whenever I go into a group, especially when you're in it, I don't know what it is about you.
Sally, who bosses me around on a daily basis. You, yeah.
All right, bye, Brooke.
Funny.
I mean,
Brooke.
Brittany.
It's okay.
I
It
bet
starts with the
Brooke
beat.
is
It starts
loving
with the beat.
this.
I'll take it. I'll take it. We've got too many students, Sally. Sally, you need a break. Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up here today. Thank you all for being here. Good luck with your purges and with your, oh shoot, somebody's sharing their screen. Good luck with your purges and with your push the food aways, and I'll meet up with you guys and check in another 2 weeks on Thursday. Okay, bye everybody.